Well, hello. It's your friendly photography and video teacher, Mr. Hall. This lesson is all about taking pictures of nature. Nature is a wide-ranging topic. It means things that aren't made by humans, that aren't designed, that come just from the natural world. Trees, plants, flowers, bushes, sky, water, animals. So take a look around your yard, around your house, and more broadly around your neighborhood, and seek out some elements of nature. And make sure your subject, whatever you're shooting, is well lit. That generally means, but not always, that the sun should be behind you, shining onto the subject, rather than the sun coming into your camera. You want the subject lit. And remember to set focus by tapping on the screen where the subject is, and then you can also adjust exposure by moving the sun icon up or down.
Now, obviously this is nature, it's a tree, but there's not much of a subject here. You can't really see the whole tree, and you don't, like, if this were a picture, you wouldn't really know exactly what to look at. So it's probably better to get way further away and see the whole tree, or get really close. You can generally get about 3 inches away. And when you take very close-up pictures, be aware of where the lens is. And it takes a little while to focus. But if I push that area, now you can see the leaf is in focus and the background is out of focus. So you can create a very interesting image where there's a distinct foreground and background. Right, so one of the things we want to do is find at least one subject out in nature that's really colorful. So I've got this yellow plant right here that's flowering. And I've got this beautiful fuchsia and yellow plant as well. So I'm going to come in close. I like that trio right there. And then I would set my focus. I can make it darker or lighter. I actually want to make it a little bit darker. I think that looks really, really nice. And then snap.
Photography means writing with light. Light writing. It's such a great term. Now I'm standing in the same place right here, and all I'm going to do is turn around 360 degrees and look at how different the light is. Where the light hits my face, when I'm in shadow, when I'm in bright sun. Now, this isn't a different time of day. All of these shots are done at the same exact moment with the sun in the same place. I'm just putting my camera at a slightly different angle, and it makes a huge difference. So remember, every photograph you create, you're writing with light. If there's no light, no picture. This entire assignment can probably be done in just your neighborhood and possibly just your yard, depending on how creative you get and how you're able to explore the nature around you and learn to see and appreciate elements of the natural world. So maybe it's as simple as a leaf that you walked by or a tree. But perhaps, without harming the tree, you could remove one leaf. Go examine it under really good light. Take a picture of it where you can see the details and the veins and the distinctions of color and unique pattern. Perhaps identify it. Maybe you even know what that leaf is, what kind of tree it comes from. And then once you take that photograph, you can edit the photograph. So you can modify it. You can add more shadow. You can add more contrast. You can take away some light. You could even convert it to black and white. So in our nature photography, we want to focus on creating a specific subject for the viewer of your photograph to look at. It can be multiple subjects, but one should pretty much know when they're looking at your photograph what the main subject is. How do we frame up that subject? Now, we can get a long distance from the subject. We can get a medium distance from the subject. We can get really close to the subject. And when we get extremely close to the subject, it's referred to as macro photography, macro. Generally, the iPad and the iPhone take a little longer to focus in on something really close than an average distance away. So be patient as you set your focus. And you need to remain at least 2 or 3 inches away from the subject in order to get good focus. All right, enjoy. The other thing is, take a bunch of shots. Your iPad allows you to do that. Go through them, and if there's a bunch that don't work out, it's fine. Toss them in the trash or try to edit them a little bit and experiment that way. And then if they just don't work, use the ones that work. So if your assignment is to get 5 or 10 really good photos, you might shoot 50 or 100 photos to get those 5 or 10 really good ones. Now, another thing you can do is take nature out of context and think about contrasting colors, perhaps. So if you wanted to highlight a green leaf, maybe instead of having a bunch of other green leaves all around it, you can take one leaf and set it on a red piece of paper, or set it on a yellow piece of paper, or a white piece of paper. In any of those cases, the green would stand out a little bit more. Experiment. The one thing I would discourage you from doing is try not to do too much zooming in with the iPad, because that makes the final image lower quality. So maybe you can do a little zooming, but all the zooming you do, realize that's going to weaken the quality of the final image in terms of pixels. So if you can, just get physically closer. All right, enjoy the next shoot. All right, everybody, let's go shoot in the front yard. Let's look at these daisies. Oh, look at that. So I'm going to come in tight and set focus on the center of that daisy. Still not in focus. There we go. Now I can look for some other bits of nature as well. I'm making this cacti. So the key is for you to go out and explore and bring nature into your photography.